And then maybe when you talk, the client will start hitting you. Just because you're scared, you won't even do anything. And there's no way that you can go and report. If you go to the police station to report, they will arrest you.
If you had to ask me what is the one thing that keeps me up at night, it's those two things: diseases and someone finding out.
This job, what you are doing, is very dangerous. It's not good. And me, I don't like it, but you know, I don't have money.
11% of street-based sex workers were raped by policemen in the last 6 months, which is just mind-boggling.
There is no security for the sex workers, because even a sex worker is being beaten by a client, even the security, they don't mind. What they want is their money.
While there's excitement, there's risk. And we need to make sure that we work with our sex workers and with our organizations that support sex workers to make sure that HIV prevention is high on the agenda.
People are coming out to watch soccer, but when they're here, they're going to want to drink. And when they're here, they're going to go looking for female company and distraction.
Most girls are now starting to join sex work, and even younger girls.
What is actual work? And what do people do? Because we have severe unemployment in this country. So instead of actually criticizing it, why not rather teach people, if this is what you're going to do it safely.
Here, people here in South Africa, they don't care about AIDS, you understand? There is AIDS these days. Said, me, I can't die with AIDS. You can tell him that me, I've got AIDS. He just laughed. He said, me, I want to without condom.
I would rather work here than on the streets, because there will be more gangsters on the streets.
There's always that faith and hope. Honestly, I can't start a day not having prayed, knowing what I'm going to do.
My father is a South African, he's from Eastern Cape, and my mother is a Zimbabwean. I was staying with my grandmother in Zimbabwe, and then my mother passed away in 1989, so I was schooling in Zimbabwe. There was no money for me to go further with my education. So I had no other means. Like, winter is coming, this house will be, it will be very cold. When it's cold, I put on the heater. I switch on the heater, I warm myself, go inside the blanket, I warm myself again, drink tea, I warm myself again. I do everything that makes me warm. If there's my client who's feeling cold, I warm him. This is my first daughter, Anthea. She's doing grade 7. This is my second daughter, Molly. It's this one. She was graduating last year in December. And this is my last born, this one. Okay. He's a colored. Yeah. I'm 31 years. I look 50. I'm a sex worker. I've been a sex worker since 1994. I started this job when I was around 18, 14 there. I was abused there in Zimbabwe. So I ran away. When I came back here, home, I didn't have a place to stay, shelter. I didn't have food. I had no one because my father's family, like when my father passed away, his family started fighting. You know this thing, when he passed away, his family took everything from my mother. So there was no way that I was going to look for my father's family. And my mother's family is in Zimbabwe. And they were fighting over something else. So I had to run away from Zimbabwe and come home again. When I came here, I didn't have a place to stay. The only place that I had to go to, I had to sleep on the street first until I joined prostitution. That's how I got involved into prostitution. My children, they're just everything to me. Because even if I'm stressed, I'm bored, you know, children, their children always come to me even if I'm bored. Like this little boy. Anyway, this little boy, I got my little boy when I was in my job, sex work. I was raped. That's how I got my little boy. I was raped. I went with a client to his house. When he, how do I say this? When we got into his house, in the house there were 3 guys. There was a white guy, a colored guy, and then a black guy. So when those guys raped me, because I went with the white man. I didn't go with this colored one or the black one. The black one is the one who took me home. And the colored one raped me and they stabbed me. I was stabbed on my thigh and they hit me with something, sharp object on my head, because that guy say I'm very rude and stubborn. They wanted me to use drugs, to sniff with cocaine, to use it. So I refused, say I'm very rude and stubborn. So that guy was hitting me. I refused. Then called the other one, they were sleeping with me. The next thing, I couldn't go to the police station. What was I going to say to the police station? I was raped. By who? Somebody that I went with. Because that guy didn't force me to go. I'm the one who went to his car. He reinforced me to his car. I went with him in his house. That's where he started it. I couldn't even go to the police station. That's the story. It's not too easy to say it anymore.
Some sex workers say that they landed up being sex workers because of their circumstances. They had no other choice. They didn't see any other choice in their lives. I'll use an example of a Zimbabwean woman who came to South Africa to find more opportunities, landed up having to stay at Park Station, which is the railway and bus station, for a couple of nights, and another woman introduced her to the potential that sex work might have for her to make some money.
My name is Salini. I'm from Zimbabwe. I came here, first time I came here in South Africa, 2006. My firstborn, she's 18 years. The second born is 13 years. I used to come with lotions to selling here. I get it in Zambia. So the Metro Police, they used to chasing us. So one day I fell down. Then I said, what can I do? They take all my goods. And I start this sex worker. There's someone, my friend, showed me here. So I came here, I stay here about 3 months. At the 4th month, I start this work. It was a New Year's Eve. We were in the bar. There's a man who take me. A nice guy, handsome one, said, I like you, dread lady, let's go, what. I come with him here. He said, give me my money. He said, I will give you. He started to fuck me. I saw him starting to put off the condom. Me, I said, why you want to put me without a condom? He said, me, I'm not going to pay you. Like, no problem. Let's go, but me, I'll go and tell what the security. Me, I take the keys. I wearing my short. I start to walk to go to the door. He just come and grab me like this. He didn't hit me, that man. He was just touching my eyes, like he was want to take it off my eyes. It was attempted murder. Just because I was got tears of blood, you understand? And now I've got a problem with my eyes.
I think in the public consciousness, mostly sex work is equated with fear. Fear with HIV transmission, fear about loose morals, and I think this has become more concentrated during the World Cup period, with the concentration on South Africa and especially the media concentration on it. People have grappled more with the issue of sex work, which I think is a very important aspect, but they've not necessarily looked at sex work from a human rights perspective. And I think this is what we're trying to inject into the public discourse, is thinking about sex work as a type of work in which all the normal human rights need to apply.
I'm not a prostitute, I work, but I'm speaking on their behalf. They're also human beings, they also need the money.
I don't want them on the street or whatever. During World Cup, they should get arrested, and that's all. Simple as that.
I think prostitution is not something which is bad, because that's how people make a living in their life. See? So, for what it's worth, let it be.
I think it's the worst thing that can happen to the country because of the diseases that are going around all over, and I think it's very bad for our children.
3/4 of the sex workers, they are mothers. 3/4 of them, most, they are mothers. They've got kids at home to support. That's why they are stick to this job. If they didn't get any job, they stick to this job because their family wants to feed. And some, they're breadwinners.
My daughter yesterday, she came here. She was taking grocery. She looked there. Outside there's a poster for stripping show. Said stripping show? What is stripping show for? Then I talked to my sister. She was called my sister. I said, here. Some people, they do strip show. Some people, they what? I was shy. You know? I was shy. I was very shy to know that I'm staying here.
Well, I would say we have quite a diversity of different types of people that come in here. You would have locals that live around in the surrounding areas, be flats and stuff like that, the houses around here. Then we also have people that travel from quite far from the townships, as far as Vereeniging. Some of them come from Mpumalanga to come and spend the weekend here. And don't forget, we don't only book rooms to girls. We also have a few students that live here, that pay their rent, and we also have people that just come through and pass through on a daily basis, on a weekend basis, you know. So we have a lot of those type of clientele that come in. And these are basically people that come from wherever they come from, they just want a break from whatever they do and want something different in the line of entertainment.
In South Africa, one of the things that's really, really concerning is the lack of actual research on sex work. We know very, very little about exactly how many sex workers there are out there. And this makes it very difficult for us to program proper interventions or targeted interventions to reduce risk and harm to sex workers in this country. So what we want to do is to improve the research agenda, especially during the World Cup. We want to make sure that we know what kind of activities they're engaging in, the risk of these activities, to what level do they increase the risk for sex workers, has the demand increased significantly during the World Cup. This is kind of the research that we want to do for the World Cup specifically, but also beyond that. Exactly how many sex workers do we have in this country? What kind of public health services do we need to implement beyond the World Cup to make sure that we reduce the risk to HIV infection?
I've been a motivational speaker. I speak about my status. I discovered that I was HIV positive in 1999. I had TB. So the doctor suggested that I have an HIV test. And I went for a test. The results came out positive. Well, it's the way I am, the way I take things. don't take things the same. That's the way I am. I didn't care. I just told myself, maybe it's just like headache, and I didn't care.
I'm HIV positive. You want to fuck me, and you are very young. How many children have you got? He said, I've got nothing. Get me, I've got 3 already. So me, if I fuck you without a condom, you are going to die, my friends. They don't believe that.
Every day, from Monday to Friday, in the morning, we at the clinic. Sex workers from different brothels, they come here. And services that we provide is we treat sexually transmitted infection. We test for HIV, we counsel, we prick them, we do post-counseling. Those that have a CD4 count of less than 200, we refer them to the nearest VCT site, whereby they're going to start their ARVs. We do pap smears. Those with abnormal pap smear, we refer them to the Johannesburg Hospital, whereby they get help there. We offer family planning services as well. So normally Monday to Friday in the morning up to at least 11, 11:30, they come here on all the brothels. And then from 12:30, we take our backpacks. We have 2 nurses, so we have 2 backpacks. We've got a linen. Some brothels, they don't have curtains. It's just open. There's no privacy. So we use this as a curtain. And then we've got all the STI drugs. Compartment for drugs, compartment for the syringes and the needles, more drugs, gloves, everything that we need, we get in this bag. We use this for shops, but we've got smaller ones that we take to the brothels. All our needles go in there. And then we've got another red biohazard bag, whereby we use all the cotton wools with blood, anything with blood, we throw it in there, and then we bring it back to the clinic. Beginning of the month, I do a roster like this with all the brothels and the dates. Other days we go to 2 brothels. Other days we go to 1, depending how busy it is. And then on Fridays, we go to the street-based sex workers with a mobile van, whereby we go and we park, and they come to the van to get all the services that we offer here at the clinic.
After he left, I went into the bathroom, showered. I was crying the whole time. I smoked and smoked and smoked. And then before I know it, again, a few hours after that, another client is coming through. So that house master told me, you do this or you don't. I mean, we don't want crybabies here. You just have to take it. I came from Natal, had a stint job for 6 months, and didn't work for 4 months. Got into the sex working business. And after 3 months, I had a lot of money that I didn't know. Okay, I would send some home, and mostly furniture for the flat. Since I'm getting a boob job, I'll be paying 36,000, which is almost equivalent to what the house cost me. A bit crazy, but it's for the World Cup. I need boobs for my World Cup. I don't rent out to families because, I mean, people talk. Why is she never here? Things like that. I avoid such things. So my 2 single guys, one is actually a cop. One of my tenants is a cop. They normally come pick him up here, but he doesn't know what I do. He just pays his rent. I get 2 days off, right? I come home. I know I'm going to be with my boyfriend. And I mean, obviously, he's going to want to have sex with me. And I don't know, but somehow I think guys know if you've been with someone else before, they sleep with you. And what we basically do, we use brown paper, the one you use to cover books, the stationary brown paper, to use it as a pad. You put it on top of your underwear, wear that the whole day, 12 hours maximum. What it basically does, even when you take it out, it drains whatever, condoms have like that moisty Vaseline-like thing. You can see it on the brown paper when you're done using it. It just cleans you. It cleans whatever is there. And then we use, most of us use Joko tea. We boil it to bath that area, your private area. So when you bath with it around that area, it kind of shrinks your vagina. And then that's when you can go home. Your boyfriend won't even tell you've been having sex all day, all night, wherever you are. Initially, my boyfriend and I were using protection. We got tested together, and now we're not. I am on contraceptives. I'm on the loop, actually. I know it's only him that I'm not using protection with, but I know I am putting him at risk with, the kind of work that I do, although I'm using protection. So it's selfish in that regard. It's not nice. I am very ashamed of it. It's not nice to do what I do. Trust me, it's not. And like I say, if there was any other way, for me right now there isn't. I just got tired years back, like looking for jobs all the time, having to borrow money to go to an interview after interview, waiting to see who's gonna buy bread. I want to be a role model for my son of the knowledge that he has of me is exactly how I want to keep things. I don't think there's a need for him to know the dirty side of what I do. That I don't think that's like any parent's wish for their child to know that they're sex workers. It's not the most glamorous thing in the world. I know I do what I do to contribute towards a better future for him. The clients always trigger your downside. And I sit alone, I feel depressed. You think of suicide. You think of drugs. Why don't I do that and not care? But I know there's a whole lot of important things in my life. I've got my son, I've got my house, I've got family, I've got my studies. You just have to keep lifting yourself up.
Everyone has known that the World Cup is coming closer. There was ample and very important opportunities for the law reform process to go forward, which is what happened in Germany. Germany knew that the World Cup was coming in 2006, and in 2002 they changed their legal framework to one of legalization, which was a more sensible response in terms of the World Cup. South Africa, we're still sitting with a total criminalization model.
We are fighting hard for this sex work to be accepted as a work, so that even a police abuses you, the law will know how to charge that policeman.
The World Cup, we were supposed to get money, but the policemen, they are going to harassing us. Some of the ladies in the road, they go in the streets. You understand? They go in the street. The policemen, they want money for them. If they don't have money, they want to fuck them again. If you see, if you don't give them money, they said, give me your pussy in the street. Some of the ladies, they said, oh, in the street you are too much.
Decriminalisation is still the way to go, because it means that women have more choices. If they choose sex work, they can do so with safety. If they choose sex work, they can do so in a way that is fully empowered and not in a way that they are vulnerable to violence, that they are forced into working in certain areas that are unsafe, where criminals are.
Legalize some parts of a town and say, look here, you can do this under certain rules and regulations, and I think that brutality and abuse from police will totally stop.
I think there's a very mixed attitude. There are some people in government who I think would see any moves to decriminalise sex work as being a kind of legalisation of the exploitation of women. And I think there are those who just see it as such a hot potato politically that they would prefer not to have to make a decision.
Countries around the world that have either decriminalized or legislated sex work or removed negative legislation around sex work, you do see an improvement in the lives of sex workers.
I think if we can just see sex work as work, take off all the other hats, the religious hat, it's a job and somebody's doing this job. So why should she be demeaned?
A client would take you and expect you to do the most inhuman things just because you're a prostitute. You do feel belittled, you know. I'm not trying to glorify what we do, but we are human at the end of the day.
Bye.